Meat eaters, I've got a message for you guys. I, as a vegan, I am not hating on you. And I don't think as vegans, we should be choosing you guys as the people to throw hate to. Meat eaters, regardless of their choices in the supermarket, they try to be good people. And actually, in many cases, meat eaters will defend animals. And you can see examples of this through recently a bodybuilder got exposed for abusing a cat, and the entire fitness community turned on him. And these are all meat eaters. These people eat probably the most meat out of anyone, right? Bodybuilders. But they turned on him and they went after him online and they denounced him and said, this is a scumbag. The same thing happened when Premiership footballer Kurt Zouma, also, he kicked a cat on film. The whole of the UK and a lot of the world went crazy at this. Mostly meat eaters going crazy about this, right? If you go and look under the comments of any video where someone's hurting an animal online, then most of the comments are from people who aren't vegan, and the things they're saying you can't even say on camera. I couldn't even say it on YouTube because there's such nasty, horrific things that they want to do to those animal abusers. And these are all meat eaters. These people genuinely care about animals, so why don't they go vegan? Why is it that they continue doing what they do to animals? They pay for people to stab them, pay for people to gas them, they pay for people to do all sorts of horrible things to animals so they can get meat, dairy, eggs, and other animal products. Why? Well, they attack those influencers who abused animals, but then they won't align themselves with what they believe that animal abuse is wrong. What's happening here? The issue isn't that people don't care about animals. The issue isn't that meat eaters hate animals or something. The issue is the lies and propaganda that have tricked them into thinking that what Kurt Zouma or that bodybuilder did is wrong, but doing worse things to pigs, cows, and chickens, doing worse things to them, like gassing them to death, which is how pigs are killed, shooting them in the head and slitting their throat, which is how cows are killed, or dropping them in electrified water and slitting their throat, which is how chickens are killed. People have been fooled into thinking that doing that is fine, but kicking a cat is that they deserve to be sentenced to death, apparently, right? Now, how did that happen? Why is it that meat eaters think that there is no abuse in animal agriculture? They think there's no abuse in meat industry, there's no abuse in the egg industry, there's no abuse in the dairy industry. They don't think any of that is animal abuse. Also, they think they need meat for protein, they think they need milk for calcium, and they think they can't live a healthy, happy life without animal products. Where does all that come from? Because that's all lies. Well, that comes from the very industries that are selling the products. The industries that are literally making millions and billions of dollars. They invest tens, hundreds of millions of dollars, euros, and pounds into advertising, marketing, and propaganda to trick people into thinking there's no abuse in those industries and to trick people into thinking they need those industries and they need those products, or they'll die, or they'll be sad, or they won't be able to live normal lives, etc. They are pumping literal millions into this to stop people from realizing the truth that these industries do abuse animals and that people don't need to fund it anymore. And they've been doing this for years. One of the people who actually works in these industries, one of the people who actually works to try and trick people into thinking there's no abuse, into thinking they need meat and they need dairy, they need eggs, he actually also works with tobacco companies, and he's been trying to convince people that tobacco is not as unhealthy as it is. He's also trying to convince people that drink driving is fine. This is the same person of one of these agencies who works for these scumbags to try and trick people into believing falsehoods, to try and trick people into ignoring the truth. That's what he gets paid for. That is literally this guy's job. There's a video by the activist Earthling Ed that goes into this in great detail. I highly recommend you check it out. It's on his channel, okay? So these people have been exposed, these industries have been exposed as liars and cheats and frauds. So Joey Carbstrong, an animal rights activist, just did an investigation in the UK. He exposed the second gas chamber in the UK, a pig gas chamber where they torture pigs to death. Horrific. The workers are punching the pigs, the workers are abusing the pigs, and then these pigs are gassed to death and tortured to death in a gas chamber. But what's going to happen is, if it's not already happened, the industries are going to pay people to come out and undermine the investigation. They're going to pay them to say things that aren't true. They'll say things like, hey, you know, those pigs aren't in pain. Listen, the vegans are just being over dramatic. It's all, there's no pain here. The pigs just fall asleep. The pigs are screaming their lungs out. This is what they'll do. They'll try to undermine the truth. So they lie to you about that. They make you think of rolling hills and the sunshine and the grass, and they make you think these animals are having the best life. They are not. It is not true. And when vegans post the truth of these places, People like that guy I mentioned earlier, they're paid to undermine it. They're paid to come along and try and make you question it and try to make you stupid. Ignore the fact that I'm a vegan and listen to what I'm saying. You are being lied to constantly by these people who get paid a stupid amount of money to trick you into continuing to buy the products that their employers want you to buy. And do you know what they want you to buy? They want you to buy meat, dairy, eggs, and all other animal products. Why? Not because they care about your health, not because they care about you at all. All they care about is money. And they want to get your money from your wallet into their hands so they can go and buy another sports car or another mansion. They don't care about you. They don't care about animals. They don't even care about the people who work for them at the top. These are millionaires, even potentially some of them that are involved are billionaires. They couldn't care less about you. They just want your money to continue going into their pockets. That's why they hire these scumbags to lie to you and trick you. So I think that we as the vegans and the meat eaters should be standing together on the same side, because I have more in common with you than you have with these millionaires and billionaires who are lying to the population. We have more in common with each other than we have with them. So you should be standing by me as a vegan, or just as another human, and standing up against the lies and the manipulation that's been happening to your parents, their grandparents for generations. We should be standing together. It shouldn't be, oh, you're a vegan, so, you whatever, you're against me, or you're a meat eater, so I'm against you. That's not the reality that we're living in. The reality that we're living in is that you care about animals, I care about animals, we care about animals, but there are certain people that have lied to you and tricked you into paying to abuse animals. They tricked you into paying for animal abuse. I'm one of the people who's figured this out, and I refuse to keep funding these people. I refuse to give them money for their next mansion. I refuse to pay for animal abuse. I refuse to pay into these industries that gas pigs to death in gas chambers, that shoot cows in the head and slash their throats, that drop chickens into electrified water and slash their throats. This is animal abuse. There's no doubt about it. I refuse to pay them, and I stopped letting them lie to me and trick me. That's why I became a vegan. Meat eaters, we should be in the same boat here. You should be able to see that this is abuse, and you should be able to see that these people have been lying to you and manipulating you for a very long time. So I think it's time that we stand together and stand up together and try and call these people out, hold them accountable for the lies, hold them, their marketing and their disgusting propaganda teams accountable, and stop letting them make a fool of you. All they've got to do is keep lying to you, is keep on making you buy these products, keep on making you think that killing and abusing animals in these industries is totally fine because you have to do it, but God forbid someone punches a pig in the face. No, that's too far. Gassing them to death? No problem. Shoot them in the head and slitting their throats? No problem. But don't you dare punch them. That's a step too far for me. This is what happens when you are lied to for generations. You start to think that, again, caving an animal's head in with a bolt gun and slashing their throat open, or throwing them in a gas chamber and gassing them to death, you start to think that's okay because of the propaganda. Because the propaganda's been working for generations on you, and there's a lot of money in it. But you take issue with the punching in the face because there's no propaganda in that. If punching pigs in the face or punching cows in the face was just part of animal agriculture and you couldn't avoid it, you'd all be defending it right now because they'd have been putting money into tricking you into thinking that it's okay to punch animals in the face. If they've been doing that for generations, you'd be sat here now saying, but David, we need to punch them in the face. We need to. It's part of how we are healthy and happy, and we have to do this so that we can eat them. So they'll lie to you about the health. They'll tell you that it's the only way you can be healthy is with animal products. Lies. You can be perfectly healthy eating plant-based. They'll say to you that the animals are treated really well, and all these vegans are lying. Lies. Animal abuse is a part of animal agriculture. You have to be cruel and abusive to animals to kill them for meat, to use their bodies for milk, and to use their bodies for eggs, and to use their bodies full stop. You have to be cruel to them. There is no good way to do that to them because it's all cruel. It is all taking their bodies and abusing their bodies to get products out of them. And you can shoot the messenger and you control the messenger and you can do all that stuff if you want. But at the end of the day, the only one who loses out is you. But more importantly, actually, the other ones that lose out are these animals that you're paying for people to abuse. You pay people to abuse them and you make an absolute fool of yourself in the process. Why do you want to continue doing that? Why would you continue to let this happen? No one can force you to listen to the truth, right? You can stay in a comforting lie all you want, but at the end of the day, you're actually funding these liars and these scumbags every single time you're donating to them. You're donating to people who are lying to you, tricking you into paying for animal abuse. Whether I'm vegan or not makes no bloody difference to that message. That message stands still the same. You should stop falling for this.